James, what's happening to the Ghana film industry?
We dropped the ball at some point, but now we're trying to make things work. What do? We need the support now even more, because to now get people to come back, Ghanaians are very stubborn when it comes to these things.
But I feel the Ghana film industry in general is a bit slow. But then the Nigerians, it's like every time. But with the Ghanaians, there's I still know the old people. I don't even know any new Ghanaian actor or actress that I'm even obsessing over or something.
The complaint is too much. It's okay. Give us a chance. And I feel like we're not giving them the young people a chance. And I feel like it's stalling and it's stiff. And we used to like it. And we used to. When was the last time you bought a ticket to go check?
How don't we hear about it before it's being shown in the cinema?
Let me explain so you understand what I mean. Majid and I were behind the counter selling tickets. But do you know how depressing it is for myself and Majid to be standing there selling tickets in person, and we have to convince people to buy tickets?
Do you feel the publicity wasn't strong enough?
We were there in person. We flew to the Mokemeda, Iniedo, Real Worry Picking, all of them. Imagine putting up all of this money. Now there are billboards. How much you're going to pay for that as well? After doing all these things and paying bloggers and paying content creators, how much more publicity do you need? So you have to be intentional about it. And because there are very good films out there.
Where are they? There's some Ghanaian movies on YouTube, but they are not as good as what you guys have made now. But I feel like it should be out there. It should be free.
So easy for you to say, but the moment the money starts coming from your account, you feel for the person. Do you have a business?
I do.
I'm going to pop by. I'm coming for free.
For free?
But what were you thinking?
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Girls ALOUD Podcast, where we talk about trendy stuff, interesting topics, and many others. My name is Aram GH, and I'm doing this with my girlies.
Your favorite girl, Ole.
And Araba Precious Youngster.
Okay, so we have a guest in our midst, okay. He's called James Gardiner. I call him a ladies' man though. What do you think? Anyway.
No, but wait, before we proceed, right? We have a game segment called Let's Play. And then we would like him to actually help us win because there's a cash prize.
Yeah.
I hope you'll be helping us.
We need to take the cash today. You need to help us.
Yeah, we
James.
need cash. We need.
Wait, do I get a share?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, of course.
We're just gonna divide it.
Just
You're
for us
contributing.
Yeah, if you help us
Small
win.
job.
Assure us that we're going to win. We need
Okay,
the
so
money.
are we ready to play?
Let's play.
All right.
Let's play.
Before we start, please note, you must get at least only 2 wrongs to win the cash prize of 1,000.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, let's play.
Bring it on.
Where your ECOWAS, ECOWAS.
Economic Community of West African States. Yeah.
Nice.
Olivia to the rescue.
The dollar.
Next, GNPC.
Ghana National Petroleum Corporation.
Hey.
You have tracks in our midst.
I work there.
Correct.
That was quick.
UNHCR.
Oh my God.
UNHCR.
United Nations.
Wow.
BNI.
BNI.
Yeah.
Bureau of National Investigations.
Correct.
Ooh.
Did you actually know the UN something?
You're not
NADMO.
posted.
NADMO.
No, I don't.
NADMO.
Not more.
National Association. Is it disasters?
Drugs.
Yes, cool.
Yeah. Disaster Management Organization. Authority. National Authority of Disaster Management.
Oh my gosh, she has tried.
That's correct.
National Disaster Management Organization. Unfortunately, you didn't get it.
But I got it. So
No,
it's just a mix-up.
no.
Authority.
There was a little mix-up. I think you have to be flexible.
So
I
the
can
idea
accept.
is there.
Two is-
The
I can
idea is
accept.
there.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you.
COCOBOD. COCOBOD. COCOBOD.
Cocoa board.
Hey. Cocoa boats, yakasa.
COCOBOD simply means Ghana Cocoa Board.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So why the Ghana cry is not even.
Now,
Then we could have just said cocoa
left.
board.
if you get all 3, you win
get the money.
$1,000. GPRTU.
Ghana Private Road.
And transports union.
Correct.
That was good.
It's like
been seeing
the tax season.
You only know of the abbreviations.
DVLA.
Driver's License Authority or something. Drivers and Vehicles Licensing Authority.
Driver and Vehicle Licensing
It's
Authority.
the same
It's still
thing.
the same, please.
Correct.
Yes.
The final.
Hey.
If you get this right, you have won $1,000. If you get it wrong, you go home with
Nothing.
Hey, we big.
ISD.
Hey. ISD.
Information Services Department.
Correct, but your time was out.
Oh, you're lying.
The time wasn't out. The time wasn't out.
Wow, it wasn't. Wow. Producer, wow.
You were very close.
Information
Wow.
Services Department.
It's actually Information Service.
Really? So
from the D.
But your time.
From the
no
D.
problem.
So we'll give you 500.
Hey, this one, yes.
No, it's supposed to be
It's
7.
alright.
At least
It's
I'm
alright.
800
It's still
Still
subject to
did
If
good.
you
Still
still
did
want to take 1,000, I can give you one question, one more, and if you get that 1,000, if you don't get
What
that,
do you guys think?
lose
The ball is
everything.
in your
No,
court.
stick to the 500.
My answer
Thank
500.
Will you take the risk of getting 1,000, or
A
do
bird
you
in
want
hand
Yes,
is worth
we
two in the
would.
bush.
So we should.
if you will take the
Yeah,
risk?
I think.
Guys,
you
think we should maintain it? Okay,
let's take the
okay.
500.
We'll take the 5.
We'll take the 5.
Then that is
Yeah,
fine.
but we'll still answer it just as a bonus.
500. That's fine. Otherwise, it was going to be BOG. What sounds you didn't.
That is a lie.
Thank you.
We know you. So
Thank you
that's
for
a
playing.
lie.
Anyway, guys, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Today's topic is going to be a little intense, okay? But before that, let's congratulate James Gardiner on being appointed,
The deputy CEO.
deputy
National-
CEO of the National Film Authority, right?
Thank you,
So how
thank
do
you,
you
thank you,
feel?
thank
Like, I
you.
mean, James, how is it like? I mean,
I feel good. I feel like it's now to back all the talk up. You know, you finally have the chance at the driving seat to drive it towards wherever it is that you like to take it. Your visions. Now, I have the chance to bring all of that to life. So I'm happy and I'm honored.
all right. So today we are talking about the Ghana film industry. All right, James, what's happening to the Ghana film industry? Because I'm not seeing anything. I'm actually not seeing anything. So at first, I'll go to, let's say, I'll be in a hurry to go and watch the films. I mean, Yvonne Nelson and then the others. But then now, the edge is not there. What's going on?
Well, I want to understand the question right. What is
As in,
going
like,
on
what's happening to
nationally,
the Ghana?
or you mean from the authority? You mean nationally? In
Yeah,
Ghana?
nationally.
Yeah, generally.
So I can only say what I think it is. In as much as we still need to talk about the problems, I don't like talking about the problems a lot because I feel like we should be talking about solutions. Everybody keeps talking about the problems and problems and problems, and pointing fingers instead of actually finding solutions is what I feel like. That in itself, I think is a problem too. From the very beginning, I would say support is also a very, very big issue.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw the question to you guys. I want you to be very honest because I'll ask follow-up questions.
Okay.
When was the last time that any of you watched a Ghanaian film?
Honestly speaking,
I can't remember
I
the last
can't
time I
remember.
watched a Ghanaian
Okay,
movie.
so I won't blame you as much because I feel like if you're a restaurant and you have very good food, it's very easy for you to get people
You're
to
gonna
come
keep
and
coming
eat.
back. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
So I can also understand, to some extent, but I feel like if we add some intentionality about it, we can get some results when we both know that
Well,
there is a
yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
When there's no problem, then how you face the whole issue is different. But when there's an issue, particularly when it's our own issue, we have to be intentional about trying to make it work, right? So if you have a friend who's running a business it's in your capacity to give proper feedback to this person to say, look, I feel like you have to do it this way. Wisdom is not just in one person's head. You get me?
Yeah.
But support is the very first thing. I feel like we don't have that. We are in the realms of affairs to make sure that we promote the kind of quality stuff that we know that people would like to consume.
Enjoy.
So that it brings back the whole, you know, that whole excitement about going to the cinema and watching a Ghanaian produced film. You know, it's just something that we know is going to be a very hard battle. It's going to go a long way in bringing back the whole, you know, industry the way it used to be. Initially, I think we gained a lot of traction in other African countries, particularly in Nigeria, because of the mergers. So we're doing more of maybe Majid and Mercy Johnson or Van Vika and Genevieve Vinaji, and they seem to love it, you know. But there were some issues along the line there when it came to licensing and paying certain fees that, you know, would pave way for outsiders or foreigners who would come in and film to do that. But I think that's where the miscommunication came in, because people were now trying to take advantage of the situation now make money for themselves instead of actually
trying to push
the law, you know, make like, you know. So it's like there were charges that were now introduced, which I think now deterred the Nigerians, you know, from coming,
entering into the
from
Ghanaian
entering
market.
to Ghana. And so that's where that whole division started from.
But
before they came, we still had our industry, right? So if we had that issue now, you know, the mergers weren't happening as much as they were. We now had to go back to the drawing board to say, okay, how do we now go about this? Because we had them, now we've lost them. So we have to go back and see how we can manage what we have left, for the want of a better word. So that's how it started. And then the whole support thing now came in. It's like people were not getting the value for their money when they paid to go to cinemas and watch these films. They were not seeing the kind of faces that they wanted. The stories were not as engaging and as exciting. So if you go see once, twice, thrice, and you're not really impressed, I don't think there'll really be that motivation to go to the cinema and watch it.
Too. Unlike, I mean, the others, they release, you see that lately is on YouTube and all that. Because when you go on YouTube, more of them.
Right now, we run to go and watch Nigerian movies on YouTube.
When I see something like that, I'm asking myself, what are the Ghanaians doing?
I don't run to go watch
And it's very sad.
sad.
It's very sad. So we're working hand in hand with the distributors. When I say that, I'm not just talking about individuals. Like, for instance, Silverbird is also a distributor when it comes to screening films and all of that. So it's a private institution. You can't possibly tell them what to show and what not to show, especially when it's classified. But there's a certain level of quality that we're trying to stick to now, because when you go to certain platforms like Netflix and all the other big ones, it's not every movie that makes it there, even though you can still see some films and go like, what kind of film is this?
Is this?
So it cuts across, right? But we are trying to streamline the kind of quality that we have so that it can be something that you can rush to the cinema to see. So now that the food is ready, we can now come back again and talk about the support that I was telling you about. There are more technical issues, but this is just like the borderline issue that we have here. After we get the quality and all of these things, how do we now come together as Ghanaians to now push our very own? Because other countries are doing it. I don't like mentioning names. I can only mention ours, you know? So we have to be very intentional about it. If you're going to say watch Spider-Man or watch Batman, I'd rather maybe the weekend after, just make some time and show some support and go watch a Ghanaian film. It's the only way, you know? I can't come knock on your doors and I can only plead. We have plans, and there are active plans that's ongoing to make sure that we secure grants, to make sure that we work with the rightful people who know a lot of the technical know-how when it comes to filmmaking. The people that I know can put us out there, up there proper. Like the Kofi Asamoahs and the Shirley Fokomasos and the Leila Jantis and whatnot. It's all in the pipeline. But after all of that is said and done, we would need to knock on your doors again for you to come out and support our industry. Support is very key.
I know.
Support is very key.
Okay, so when it comes to when it comes to how do you call it, the content creators and then like influencers coming in, I feel like I see more of the others involving them to also bring out the movies.
Right.
What do you is it a good thing? Is it,
I
because
mean,
lately content creators are really out there and then they have the numbers.
from where I sit, I mean, I would be a serious advocate for things done properly and professionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
But from a producer's point of view as well, that's also a different ball game altogether,
Is it
because
good?
they're in for the profit.
Okay.
It's also, it has its specs, it has its downside as well, because there's a lot of seriousness that needs to be attached to filmmaking. It's not a small business. It's a very serious business when it comes to national affairs. So you will need the serious side of it,
Okay.
and definitely just to have a balance, also have some that can, just, shake things up a little bit. But I think that when it comes to acting proper, when you say a film, when we're talking about film, you need professionals who really understand the business.
Yeah.
There's a communication or there's a film language we use. There are certain things that you should know even before you get on set as an actor.
Okay.
And I feel like when you're not maybe well, I'll say, armored with these tools, it makes work very difficult. It can stall things communication wise between the cast, the director, cast to cast, stuff like that. You have to make sure that you're bringing your A game. You can start at some point, but once you get to a certain level, particularly when you're working with certain known faces and certain figures, like I can't just get up and just start doing a film with Robert De Niro. I need to work my way up. There could be something that they may also be looking out for, but regardless, there still has to be something. There are raw talents that sometimes you even come across. I can make mention of the Beast of No Nation. Abraham Atta didn't have no proper formal training, but he got the platform, right? So I'm not condemning the fact that you have people who are not really well vested with the craft, but you need to have a perfect balance. So we still keep the professionalism in there. So if we're just looking at the marketability side of things and just focusing on people with just numbers, we are not really doing filmmaking a service, because we need. I don't know if you get what I mean. There's a trend. There's a way film is done. It's a proper business. It's a serious business.
It's actually
it's done where just for the numbers, you can tweak things up and say, I'm going to bring this influencer or I'm bringing this skit maker,
and it's actually going to go viral.
Yes, but then the core of the film proper should always dish out a message, right? And we at the National Film Authority are there to also ensure that we are not just doing film just for just to tickle your fancy.
Do you want to go? Not to I'm trying to take us back a little bit. You made mention of you said you like to talk about solutions and not problems.
Yes.
Yeah. So right now I want to know who is responsible for like these solutions. Are you the one that's going to, or the National Film?
Yeah, so we are the forefront of it. We are the ones driving it, but we are all part of the solution. It can't just be from the National Authority, because everyone has a role to play. We can do our part, but after we are done, there's also the general public. When we make a film, when Kofi and I work on a film, we don't just sit and watch the film from our living rooms. We would like to share and let everybody also tap into it. But by so doing, we have to be intentional, because it's also not for free. And how to change the whole narrative of making ours a priority or making ours the go-to instead of looking elsewhere is the issue we have now.
Because initially, like previously, like before, with the Jackie Appiah, Yvonne Nelson's, like those days, that's when Ghanaian movie industry was like really the talk. Even in Nigeria, they were watching, but now you don't see that like anywhere. Personally, I stopped watching Ghanaian movies because I felt like it got to a point, the storylines were very, it's like before the thing will end, you already know how it's ending. And then I think I got bored of the characters too. I felt like there were some people that were like, every movie, who's
they
going to be
inside.
And then
exactly,
it's like,
I wanted to
the main characters in a lot of things.
Why?
So the same thing happens in other countries as well, right? Only that for us, our industry, when it comes to numbers, is quite small.
It's small.
Instead of, other countries like South Africa, Nigeria, and, other countries like that. So the faces are able to go around evenly, so you don't get tired of them, even if you do see them every now and then. But here, just like we're talking about marketing wise, right? When you put Jackie on a poster, you and I know that definitely is going to get a lot of traction. So if you're a producer and you use Jackie and you make so much money, your next film, you definitely want to, put Jackie in there.
Yeah.
And once Jackie is free and the story sits well with her, the direction, everything just checks out, she will definitely do it. You know,
why don't they? I feel like they barely introduce new faces
for us to even have a chance to fall in love with them.
Because I've been seeing
because we get bored.
Okay, fine.
New faces
So let me ask a question, right?
Okay, ask.
You call for new faces. Okay. I know that the producers can decide to make a blend and put one known face there, but that's not up to you, right? So if there's a movie of just new faces, let's say I'm a producer and I want to give them a chance, and you go to the cinema and you see one with Jackie, John, Yvonne Okoro, Nadia on one, and you see Alex Techi,
we don't know them,
Felix, Amwako, and all those people.
Yeah.
Be very honest.
Yeah.
Who would you pick?
I mean, I'll go for the Jackie movie, obviously.
And you?
Obviously.
And you?
I mean, I would go for the same, but what the point I'm trying to make
is a different face.
Yes, wait, but hang in there.
Young people.
Okay, hang in there. I totally understand where you're coming from, right? In a business where you're dealing with a small number of people at the time, especially when the merger wasn't really working.
Yeah.
This is just like purely for Ghana consumption, right? Before we're even crossing borders. Now, a lot of our actors travel a lot to Nigeria, to South Africa, to Gambia, Cameroon to film. But at that time, when that thing started, every producer was just trying to protect their profits. Okay, so I mean, when I started, I was new, right? It took a while before I made it to the posters. So it's not even so much about you just being thrown onto the poster. You need to work your way up to get there.
But I thought it was more of the talent.
Yeah,
that was what I thought.
It's not
because honestly, that's what made me stop. Like,
talent is very important, but if you have talent and you don't have traction, you don't have the full package.
Oh,
You get what I mean? Like there can be a film with other big actors in it, but then they can just put Denzel Washington on the poster, or they can just put Michael B. Jordan, or just Will Smith.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that the rest don't have talent. It just means that for whatever purpose or whatever, for that particular film, they just feel marketing wise, Denzel's face will sell the film more than just
James,
putting
you just
it
said that you had
there.
to. When you started, you weren't on the posters. You literally had to work your way through.
So why don't
they give the same opportunity to young people to also work their way through?
Because
that's what made me lose interest in watching Ghanaian movies.
Because Anthony Wood, when I started, Anthony Wood wasn't there, but Anthony Wood now has a chance. Kwesi Blay wasn't there. It's not for me to choose, So
I get you, though.
So my thing is how people accept these faces also dictates their
how it's gonna
pace.
go,
Exactly. So it's one thing you giving people an opportunity, and it's another, for them to also take it and make sure that they
make
own
something of it.
Because if you get the opportunity and maybe let's just say you have a fine face, right, but you can't really act. At some point it won't work. They'll give other people a chance. So if you're very good at what you do, you have everything, you speak well, you're very professional, you know your craft, you know your lines, you know how to act, like everything just checks out for you. I don't see how it would take long for people to start.
Yeah, because I mean, this movie that trended some time ago, Beast of No Nation, that small boy. I'm like, from Norway, the guy is like came out. Like, I felt like he wasn't known, unlike the Kuma
But he got known because of his performance.
The Kuma Wood, most of the time they use the kids, they use them from childhood. You see that then. But at
some point, you will need some professional studies as well to back it all up, because.
So he was actually groomed.
So everyone is an actor, right? Just so you know, everyone is.
Maybe
you can be camera shy, but there are certain times when you're not angry, but you act to be angry.
Yeah, just to get something.
Exactly. Or maybe you are not really in need of something, but then you act like you need it. So everybody naturally is an actor. It's just how you transition those emotions to the front of the camera
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So
And not
it's
being shy.
exactly, and how you can execute it well for people to not feel like you're acting. I'm supposed to do my job well for you to now feel my emotions from the TV, and you forget about the fact that I'm even just acting. So that's essentially it.
Yes, and then I wanted to ask you, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel the Ghana film industry in general is a bit, I don't want to say slow, but it's like they're not consistent. When they release a
There's
movie,
no motion.
it's like yeah, and then
There's no motion.
the Nigerians it's like every time.
That's what I just mentioned.
And then
because it's back
when
to
you come to
back.
Ghana, is nothing
don't have to
even,
compare
not
though.
even a half of the energy.
We don't have to compare.
But they patronize. So this is the same
Yeah,
question
because
that
of
I'm
how
asking.
they're giving it to us, like good content, quality actors, new people. We are even liking the new people. We don't even know them. We just
Yeah, they're
exactly, that's what
we're
I was
liking
saying.
them
Because I feel like
I
if they
feel like they give it to
consider a
us
lot
and then
of-
we just take it. But with the Ghanaians, there's like I still know the old people. I don't even know any new Ghanaian actor or actress that I'm even obsessing over or something. Do you get where I'm coming from? But the Nigerians, I can watch a movie and I'm like, damn, like
the guy
this
is so
person.
cool.
Yeah, but
Okay, so
I don't even remember any.
So let me give you an example. I was not going to talk about this, but I'll talk about it.
Please talk.
In December, we were premiering our film One Night Guest. It's a Ghana film, like
Which December?
Ghana,
This
Nigeria.
December.
This December that just
December.
passed.
One night guest. Not
So
heard
it
of
was a Ghana. I don't blame you. So it was a Ghana Nigerian merger.
Okay.
I was in there. Majid was in there.
Oh.
Yvonne
Oh.
Okoro was in there.
I know it.
Iniedo was in there. Chidi Mokeme, Rosalind Ngisa, Akanani was in there. Lasisi.
Jackie
It was a
was
very
in
long
there.
list. Jackie wasn't in there.
Is it Funke?
No, Jackie wasn't in there. Not that one.
Okay.
Okay. So now, around the same time, there was the premiere of Jennifer Diary. Yeah, that's Funke's film too,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
There were still Ghanaians in there. Solid. But so let me explain so you understand what I mean. Majid and I were behind the counter selling tickets for One Night Guest.
Okay.
There's no issue whatsoever at all, right? If you're buying, if you're supporting, our other brothers and sisters in another film, that's okay. But do you know how depressing it is for myself and Majid to be standing there selling tickets in person?
Yeah.
And we have to convince people to buy tickets. Convince.
Wow.
Let's
That's
even take
fucked up.
the convincing out. I mean, come on, maybe just that day or that time, just for the mere fact that we were there.
Yeah.
At least show some
support.
support.
You thought the publicity wasn't strong enough, probably.
We were there in person.
That's
How much more
publicity enough.
publicity do you need? We were standing
that's
there. We were just
publicity
there.
enough.
Maybe before the day, if it was like out there that you guys.
No.
You're not getting. I'm talking
Access
about the
are there.
people who were there. You forget about people who we were not
coming
able to
to buy,
reach.
yeah.
For the ones who came to the cinema that day. And I keep saying this, I don't like comparing it to other countries,
Yeah.
right? But if it were other countries, the mere fact that Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C was
Yeah,
there
we want to talk to
will
you,
be
take pictures.
motivating enough
Definitely.
to do that.
That's true.
So you see, it's the way we are set. I don't want you guys putting the blame only and the movies and the Ghana. We have a very huge issue when it comes to support. I can tell you that for a fact.
So
we don't rate our actors.
I said this in an interview not too long ago that we place so much value on foreign stuff than our very own. It's like we look down on our very own.
Yeah.
We are glad to
That's a
take the
general-
very same thing
General thing.
from another country or from other people
Better than our
because
own.
we think that whatever they do is big.
It's
So,
Yeah.
but we
And
do
it-
the same thing and then we belittle it.
Yeah.
So the mindset is also very key when it comes to this. I feel that's why I keep saying we have to be very intentional about this. The support has to be intentional. If you want a film to be good, no matter how much you criticize it, you still find a reason to make sure that you defend the fact that the film is good. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the attitude that I'm talking about. If you've made up your mind that this movie is not going to be nice, no matter how
Extra, they try to go. You still want
how
to
impressed
It
you are with
will
the
still be
film,
nice for you.
just to stick to your whole mantra that this film is not good, you will still stick to that. So it's a mentality. I feel like we just have to be malleable, guys. We have to be very receptive. Rome wasn't built in a day.
It's true.
It's something that we've been trying to change. But without the support also from your end, it's just,
But-
it's like
So
we're
what's
fighting
the
a never
support?
ending
Me, I
battle.
feel like we're not even
The-
really
Yeah, but
seeing.
buying tickets.
We're
So
not
the
even really
support-
seeing
so the
buy
support-
tickets.
support.
Exactly. Look,
But we buy a ticket.
when When was the last time you bought a ticket
bed.
to go check? Yeah, but when was the last time though?
I think
last year for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, but when? When exactly last year?
December.
You see, but you have to think about it. But for every week, there's a Ghana film that's showing in the cinema.
Wow,
I can tell you for a fact.
New movie.
Or old. Would you just mix it up or like?
Do you want to check from here when you're done?
Yes, I will.
What did you
Yeah, I think you should.
The other one that you're talking about.
Or how about this? Hi.
It's old.
What are the Ghana movies that are showing? Or you go on
Strictly
the
Ghanaian movies.
That is how it works, guys.
I haven't hear about it
strictly
before
Ghanaian
it's being
movies.
shown in the cinema.
How what?
How don't we hear about it? Because I mean, I've not seen it online.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, do you know that
I don't have to go to the cinema before
you hear about it.
It's not every time that a movie you watch on YouTube you get to see or have a feel of it before you watch it, right? You know what I'm saying?
I watch a lot of movies on YouTube.
So when you go out, it's almost like you know what you're looking for. Do you get what I mean?
Because I've seen probably something.
Because they post
or there's somebody
and they make noise about
when
it.
you go on TikTok, Instagram, you see trailers of the movie. And when I see the trailer, I'm like, damn, I need to go see that movie.
I'm trying to establish a point. I understand that. The intentionality I'm talking about comes from here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always go on YouTube with something in mind. But when you get on YouTube, you find something to watch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that means that at that time, there's something on your mind that you're looking for because you would have looked for a Ghana movie that you still haven't heard about yet. Same way that you didn't hear about whichever film that you're going to watch now. Do you get the point I'm trying to create? Just be intentional about it. When you go out there are some good Ghana movies on YouTube as well. But I'm also going to throw this question back to you. In your opinion, which way do you think we can better the industry? From your point of view.
I feel like we need to learn certain things from the foreigners, as like for the Ghana industry. Because as I said, when I go to work, I probably saw something on Instagram or I'll see a trailer, and then I'm so interested when I need to go find it. I need to go watch that movie on YouTube. I've never done that with the Ghanaian movie before. It's not even something I'm doing intentionally. Because of the trailer I saw, it was
and I think
hot and all of that. So they know because
don't divert. Don't divert. Hold on. Hang in there. When you see a post like that, do you interact with the post?
I probably like it.
Yeah, but do you comment stuff like that? Okay, wait. So you see, it starts from there.
Yeah.
The intentionality. I'm building it to somewhere.
Yeah.
So you understand what I'm saying? Precious, are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. When you go to other countries, which I'm trying so hard not to talk about, they are very, very intentional about it, guys. You can tell. Look, when an actor, a musician, or whoever it is, drops a picture or a teaser or a video, they support guys
so much. Yeah.
They will comment. We can't wait. Udogu, wow, this is going to be great. They haven't even seen it, guys. Exactly what I'm talking about. It's all right, but I'm trying to establish a point here, guys. We're very. We don't like to support our own. It's the
I feel like we don't have too much confidence in our own stuff.
We will rush.
Or we look down.
Or we don't
rate because we have the notion that it's one way. Because at the end of the day, this is how they end.
But then that is not right, though.
But you don't give them a chance.
That's what he's trying to say. Enjoy the Ghanaian movie.
If you go and buy wache from one spot, right, and it doesn't taste good, you go to another spot and the wache doesn't taste good. You go to a third spot, it doesn't taste good. Would you stop eating wache entirely?
Find another one.
Exactly my point. So hear me out. If producers are not getting the support that they're looking for, right, that invariably interprets into profit. Because it's a business. It's not just a joke. If I'm not making a lot of money as a producer, my advertising tools or marketing tools is limited.
Yeah.
It boils down to money.
That's true.
It's not a joke. All these billboards and all these things that you have to pay for, promoters, influencers, it's money.
Yeah.
Now imagine doing all of this and we still have the mindset that I know that it's not going to be good. Are you expecting people to turn up in their numbers, on your premiere day or even after in the cinemas and nobody's showing up?
But I think
it's a good film.
Yeah.
You still haven't given it a chance.
Yeah.
You get what I'm coming from, guys.
I feel like they had it some years back, but now I feel like they lost it.
Maybe we've lost
so
hope.
they need to work the industry on the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying.
And try to give it back to us.
So then you have to be malleable. You guys have to ease up.
No, we are there. We are on the social media. We are there, but we are not feeling it. We are not seeing it.
Do you know how much marketing we did for one night guest?
I never heard of it though.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So maybe your algorithm will probably
show us that.
certain things that come to you.
Yeah.
So you go out with what you want to look for. I come back to this same point.
Yeah.
We just have to be intentional about it, girls. We just have to be. If you're very intentional about it and you look out for certain things where you spend the most time here or watching content from these countries, you keep seeing content from those countries. It's just natural. So we just have to realign ourselves. Okay, fine. We dropped the ball at some point, but now we're trying to make things work, right? What do? We need the support now, even more, because to now get people to come back.
It's quite
Ghanaians are very stubborn when it comes to these things. I'm not even going to lie. Look, when you do concerts, and all of these events, the kind of support that you get in other countries is not the same that we get here. You see a post, you release an official trailer for a film that's coming. It's a good film, by the way, directed by a very renowned, director, right?
Yeah.
And there are all of these faces, and then maybe I'm in the film. I know it's a very good film, but you don't get that kind of support that we're getting. What else do you do? I can't go knocking on doors. This film is good, guys.
You
really have to see it. I can do what I can do with my platform. Tell whoever it is, or the people who have seen it will tell. But they can only go so far, and that's it.
I feel like you should involve more of the influencers, though. Like,
I'm not saying that's the downside, but the thing is, after we do it, we need the intentional supports of people to come out and support, because at the end of the day, it's a business. These producers also have to make money and keep.
I feel like you just need to get the interest
going
back from the people.
Yeah,
because if we only support you if you're interested in what you're giving us.
Yeah, so
but
you
there's
have
a point
to
where
ease up.
we are not even seeing anything. I'm working. We're not even seeing anything.
Because you're making it difficult for these guys. That's what I'm telling you.
But are they even doing stuff?
They are doing stuff.
So we're not seeing it.
I like to come in with what you said. How about they incorporate like content creators into it?
Exactly.
If you
That's
want
what
me to
I'm
break it
saying.
down, I'll break it down.
Break it
Why
down.
I say you see what you want to see. Then you understand. For one, I guess,
Okay.
So we flew all the cast from Nigeria to Ghana. We did the same for Nigeria too.
Okay.
And we went literally on every TV station, radio station. There was a proper schedule. There were billboards. There were scheduled posts for Instagram. Bloggers were posting. We went on floats. Are you guys listening to what I'm saying?
No, but I didn't hear influencers or content
Wait, hold on.
creators.
But if I say no, but everybody did that. They did that. So people were paid. I can't name every single person because it was a big project.
Okay, because some bloggers, most bloggers, I don't know how to say it, but most bloggers I see them post. Some posts don't go viral.
Nah, meaning they should go back to the board again. Because if we didn't see this,
let's since we're there, we might as well just dirty ourselves. Let Funke Akindele drop a trailer, right? And let Kofi Asama drop a trailer with all the big names in there, right? Let's be very honest. Even before you watch it, you're already excited to watch Funke's. Let's be very honest here.
Obviously,
that's what I'm trying to say here. It's the psyche, guys. You're still understanding.
But James, there's consistency
if you're putting,
yes,
but if you're putting Funke, right?
Consistency, but now we have to bring ours back. So you see, if you're still sitting there saying there's the consistency, you're still giving your country back.
James,
you have to be intentional to still watch it, interact with it, comment the same energy because you haven't even seen the film.
Okay, if you're gonna put Funke and Kofi right now, I would gladly watch a Funke movie because let's say I follow Funke.
I totally understand.
If I follow Funke right now, before a movie even comes out, Funke is doing a whole lot of things.
Right.
Funke is doing skits.
I'm not watching down her
She's doing this, and I feel like all that is just a part of it. I feel like Ghanaian movie actors are like, I'm not gonna say stuck, but like they stick to kind of a certain kind of way.
When was the last time you watched a Ghana film? No,
if Funke me, I'll just see something. She's dancing, and I just want
more of like those young people.
And she's like, she's always there's exciting things about her. She's always dancing. She's doing things that you would want to see what movies she's actually bringing with all the drama. You know, she's personally like. Her life, if you watch her lifestyle, you'll be interested in how, whatever she's bringing is going to look like.
Lifestyle, but
let's say like Ghanaians would probably just post about you or post a trailer. And then, like me, I feel like before we even watch a movie or something, like you need to love the actor. Like, you need to love the person.
Oh, we love
you
our
understand?
actors,
And when you
don't
love
we?
the person, whatever they bring, you're gonna like it.
You
But
love
this
Majid.
is a
I do.
I used to.
We used to. I mean,
Oh my God,
but
you
now,
used to.
I'm not. Let me see.
You don't love Majid anymore.
I'm not saying
Me,
I don't
I
love him
do.
anymore, but I've not seen more
What
of
he's
him
doing,
like
yeah.
recently.
Well,
so
he was in One Night
One Night
Guest,
Stand,
right?
okay.
Which was just it just premiered
Yeah.
in December. Okay, I'm in there too. It's a very good film.
Oh, we love you too.
You didn't get to
We
see the
actually love
film.
it though.
yeah.
So you didn't get to see the film,
No.
but I can tell you for a fact. This is what I mean. If you ease up enough, it's okay. If it's all right, you guys shouldn't be too hard on the industry. What I'm trying to
We are
let you
not
guys
hard.
understand
We
is
are.
that same energy that you used to go watch that. Use that same energy to watch the ones that you get to see. I won't blame you for the ones that you don't get to see, right?
Yeah.
Because there are actually some very good ones out there. Maybe, just maybe, if you see one, twice, thrice, and you start having faith just like every other person else is, we will start getting our own traction. This is ours. You people keep forgetting it. I get it. But now that we are trying so hard to address the issues and how we are going to have a comeback, if we still have that mentality that, no, but the movies are not. But how many recent films have you even seen?
Yeah, we've not even seen
Not a
enough.
lot. So you have to be intentional about it. Actually support. Go out there
Yeah.
because there are very good films out there. I kid you not, guys. You don't know what's
There
happening.
can be good films out there,
Things
but
I
we're in
don't
an
think
era
we
of
doubt
content
that they are
creation.
good
Right.
We are in an
films.
era where people like watch influencers and then not even influencers. If you're an actor and you go out there and you're
Content
putting some
creators.
interesting content out there,
Yeah.
because I'm seeing the content, like I want to go
want
see the
to go
movie
and
too.
watch it.
Right,
What
so
the
I'll
person
circle
is
back
doing
again. I
inside.
totally understand. I get that. That's what you say, right? We literally did everything that we could for One Night Guest.
The movie.
Content creators posted, bloggers, skit makers, who
No,
know,
but did
everybody
you
did
include
it.
a content creator in the movie?
No, it doesn't necessarily have to be that because they still have their platform. You can still utilize their platform because they can still talk about the film.
They don't have to be in it.
You don't necessarily have to be. That's not how you market films. There are different ways.
Yeah, it doesn't
If
have
I want you to, if I want to use a platform, it doesn't necessarily mean that I
They have to be in
include
it.
you.
Yeah, it's true.
I can still pay you and still use your platform.
And it will
After
go.
doing all of this, the ones who saw, but did not show up.
The-
But there are other ones that they'll see, and just because we're still holding on to right now, Ghana films like this, and I feel like we're not giving them the young people chance, and I feel like it's stalling and it's stiff,
Let
and we
me
used
tell
to
you,
like
the
it, and we
situation
used
is
to.
like Ghana
The complaint
football.
is too much. It's okay. Give us a chance.
The
There are
trust is
good films.
gone.
Yeah,
You have to regain it.
Push it on
Exactly.
us.
So
You
you
need to
ease
put it on
it. You don't understand what I'm saying. We're doing everything possible. When you say you have to gain, it's like, okay, you are telling me to gain it. I'm doing what I have to do, but then you're just
you're
sitting
not
down.
easing
You
up.
probably need to go a bit harder.
No.
You know,
Then you're not being fair because
Maybe just a little.
if we are
Use
done with the
strategies.
film and we do billboards, we literally go to every radio station, literally every TV station. We fly the Nigerian cast down. We let content creators post, bloggers post, and you're still telling me we have to. Do you expect me to bring the moon and the sun to you before?
Oh
Yes.
no, we don't.
So then what are you saying?
maybe the kind of content creators
Yeah.
we are
No,
not
you
seeing
see,
it.
it's
Because
so now all I'm hearing is just
I've not heard this,
excuses. I literally just gave you a lineup of how we marketed the film, and you're still finding a reason as to why we didn't do good enough. Listen, you guys are not paying attention. This is the
We
problem
are.
now.
We are
Precious.
but we just want
we are
it to be
listening.
better so that we can actually.
So now hear me out.
Okay.
It's high time you ease up. I'm being very frank with you guys.
Okay.
Because we literally did everything. All I'm hearing now, after all this lineup that I did, you say, yeah, but
Content
maybe
creation.
No, we are helping you
and
with
maybe-
strategies, James. That's what we are.
Precious, you still didn't hear what I just said. We flew Chidi Mokeme down, Iniedo, Real Worry Peking, all of them. Literally all of these interviews that we went with them. Hotel bills, hold on. Flights. Obviously, there'll be incentives as well when it comes to promotion because in as much as it's part of the film, when you're done, it's maybe from the beginning. It depends on how you do your negotiation, post-pro, all of that, right? But I know that there are definitely going to be incentives. Imagine putting up all of this money. Now, there are billboards. How much are going to
That's a
pay
lot
for
of
that
money.
as well?
That's a lot of money. That one day.
So now let's come back home again.
We are here.
After doing all these things and paying bloggers and paying content creators or the wrong content creators, as you are still trying to find excuses, the producer still needs money.
That's true.
When I'm a producer and I invest this much and I don't make my money back, how do you expect me to continue?
No.
There's no longevity in that, guys. So we have to be intentional. That's what I'm telling you guys. It's not easy for producers in Ghana because we're so stubborn, and yes, the trust was lost.
The budget
but people are trying to make it work.
Yeah.
But after you go through all these strategies and all these things that you have to do, people still don't budge. How do you expect the industry to be better if you're still sitting at home and not watching Ghana movies and just throwing your weight behind other countries? This is ours we're talking about here, guys.
But I mean, I feel like
I feel how he's literally like explaining.
That's what I'm saying.
So
because
I'm kind of
it's
like
a business.
getting it.
I don't intentionally like want to go watch a Nigerian movie. It's not even intentional.
So now we have to intentionally do that for Ghana, is what I'm saying.
It's not intentional. So me, I just go with what I see. I see something and I want to watch that. I'm just going to go watch it. So it's not like I'm intentional about it. That probably I'm going to look for something. Nah. I think it's about the visibility. And what they're doing. I'm interested in what they're showing. So I don't really want to go see the whole movie.
Okay, I don't know how visible. Do you want me to take you through again?
No, already took us through.
Guys.
If you say 1,000 times,
guys, exactly. I want you to actually soak what I'm saying.
It's a mindset of ours.
It's the mindset.
It's the mindset.
Not getting it. I've been waiting for this kind of discussion to really break things down.
Ooh.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen. We have to ease up. And stop still going with the narrative from
back
then and saying the movie is this, the movie is that. We have to change our mindset. Movies have evolved.
Okay.
There are new directors who now understand the craft more than even the pace setters did. Things are changing. Storylines have changed.
Okay.
You don't think that producers by now would know that if you do certain kind of stories are not going to get attraction? Imagine building a beautiful story and building a beautiful cast like this.
Nobody shows up.
The kind of equipment that we use for that production.
Blind people.
Shout out to Peter Sedufia, by the way. You guys have no idea. We're filming with Ari. Do you know how much Ari's cost? To ask Kofi someone, he'll tell you. For a day, for a day's work. Look at how much detail go into all of these things. And then you still don't get the support. You're talking about visibility. Literally every box was checked when it comes to visibility or marketing for this film. Everything. I'm telling you. Ask me, I'll answer whether or not we did not do it. We did everything.
We've heard you. We've heard you.
That's what I'm saying, guys.
Right now, we are understanding you.
You just have to ease up,
this
guys.
Is the reality
so Ghanaians, please, let's ease up.
Just ease up.
James says
Guys,
we should ease up.
Let's build the
give
trust
them a
back.
chance.
Let's
Let's give them a chance.
You there right now? I'm feeling
Go
for
to
you,
the
Papa.
movies
You there?
and
So okay,
support.
I'm feeling
No, so
I'm
you
feeling
see-
for all of you now.
The producers are even the ones who even suffer the most because they are the ones who actually pump their money into it. Imagine selling food and you keep cooking, nobody's buying. Would you still keep cooking? You would.
Oh.
But then you will still expect this same person who is not making money to find a way to still make it work.
You look for new recipes.
Exactly. Now, after finding a new recipe, you come back and they still go like, this woman, the food is not nice. Based on the previous taste. Guys, my food is new. I've changed my recipe. Come try it. Do you know how tough that is? Do you now get my point that I'm trying to make? Because it's embedded in your head that this woman's watch is whack.
It's true.
But now she's changed the recipe. How do you now forgive her and go back and buy the wachi? That's the same point I'm making here, guys.
Taste.
Exactly. But now, what do I come to your house and I give you screening for free and say, this is just... Even when you put teasers and trailers and all these things out, when it comes to interactions, Ghanaians, we don't even do that. We don't put power behind our own. Meanwhile, we even have small numbers. Imagine. And these small numbers we have, we still decide to now put it behind the people who already have the numbers. Come on, guys.
We can do better.
We can do it.
Way better. We can
push
way
our
better.
Ghanaian
Instead of finding excuses and trying to defend a narrative and make yourself feel cool that, you're right. I probably haven't really done a lot to do it.
But James,
you just
then again, I
I
wanted to ask this question. You see, for example, this one night thing, like the movie.
One night guest, not thing.
One night guest.
So please come back again.
One night guest. Okay. So you see the movies that we I don't want to talk about like the others again, right?
Right.
But movies like that, do they post it on YouTube?
If eventually, so it depends on the direction that the producer
we feel
wants
like
to go.
more of those movies. Why don't we see it on YouTube?
So
Because at first I know that you guys push it more to like Netflix and then
it's
Right now,
not-
it's probably
not
just the
that
cinema.
easy.
You're gonna see at the cinema.
No.
so
And
because
I'm not going to the cinema,
right
but I
now,
want to
you
watch.
see the reason why people will run and go to YouTube. Literally, me when I go to YouTube, I don't have the mindset to go and watch movie. But immediately I open YouTube now, you see it's lined up like that.
Yeah, I feel like
You
Nigerians
don't want to get up and go to the cinema.
So let's stop defending that and let's change that narrative, right?
Mm-hmm.
The same recipe chain that we spoke about. There are certain equipments and there's a way that you go about filming that the traction from YouTube alone won't let you get your numbers back money-wise.
Yeah,
right?
money-wise. Anyway.
So it depends. If it's something that's already blown or maybe you already have certain means that you want to go
Make it
through for
happen.
YouTube influencers or something, you can risk it and do that, right? But some of these films, the kind of budget that goes into it, it might take a very long time for you to start getting views. That will now generate into money, right? So usually you like the very mainstream, proper, like up there. Maybe after hitting the cinemas, you want to now visit Netflix because maybe Majid's face or any of those face will give you more value money-wise on Netflix rather than to just have patience and wait for it on YouTube. So if you want to go with like a YouTube productions, the budget usually
Has to be like in
is a bit
between.
lower.
Okay.
But then again, if you're gonna think about the money, then I think you still be where you are. The Nigerians, I feel like the people,
Really?
maybe
right now.
maybe
It's
because
funny.
we.
Let us
not
for you to
say
say
yes.
yes.
Easy
but
for you to
I
say
feel like
yes.
I feel like you still need the. You still need the.
I understand
I
where
feel
you're
like
coming from,
can I land?
Yes.
Can I
It's not
land?
easy. It's
It's
not
not
easy.
easy.
As a producer, then you invest. Let's say you invest
Millions of,
$50,000.
yeah.
Hold on a second. This is so funny.
$50,000.
You invest $50,000, right? I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
I could have said thousands,
Yeah.
Okay.
but I'm using 50
Yeah.
just for context. Let's say you invest $50,000 with what you're saying, and I'll still let you land.
Okay.
But it's just so funny.
Don't worry.
You have to land.
I
And
will.
After all of that, you make $20,000
Yeah.
back. So you make a loss of
yeah.
$30,000. You're like, you know what?
It's fine.
It's fine. I feel like I still need to go.
There's a lot
And
of
you
money.
go again. This time, you're trying to pick up, the pieces and everything that you've heard, and so is you want to make it better and bigger.
Yeah.
So this time you go hard and you invest $70,000, and you make $30,000 back. Ah man.
That's on posting on YouTube.
No, I'm just talking
generalizing
about
as a
it.
producer.
You now go
Generalizing
back,
it.
you're like, okay, you know what? Maybe we should have this measure.
Yeah.
Let's do something with South Africa, so Nigerians and blah blah blah, all this one. So either you flying them in or I'm flying them there, hotels, feeding and blah blah,
Doing
cameras, all
everything,
these
yeah.
things. Like you have it. You're investing about $400,000
Yeah.
in this time, and you still don't make your money back. What do you tell me now?
I'll go get some sleep.
Exactly what I'm saying. It's easy. It's
so
easy.
easy to say
Exactly.
that.
It's so easy for you to say, but the moment the money starts coming from you, realize that the money is actually coming from your account, you feel for the person.
Yeah.
They're not being fair. Let me be very honest with
Yeah.
you. It has never been easy for producers who are trying so hard to make this industry work. And hats off to them, because had it not been for producers, we wouldn't even be talking film in the first place. There are relentless producers who make losses, and just for the passion of the industry
They
and
still
how
keep
to
going.
change the same narrative about this same watch which doesn't taste good. You guys don't understand. We wouldn't even be here talking about it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even be here. If the money was coming directly from your pocket,
Okay.
you would understand the support.
Yeah. Okay. So James, there's so many Ghanaian movies that you
Right.
guys have made
Right.
that we haven't seen, right?
Right.
Same as on the other side with the other
Right.
countries as well. Let's say you're a producer,
Right.
right? I feel like if you want to be out there, you want to be seen, you can't just have a movie and have a premiere and then expect us to, we don't know you. Fine, we probably don't even know about the movie, but you don't expect us to run and go and see the movie if you've probably not seen something on YouTube already or seen something somewhere.
Like
not YouTube particularly, but at every time there's something trending, there's something going on.
understand where
So
she's
we follow
coming
here, and then I feel like you build from somewhere. So if I've seen something of yours on YouTube, I want to come to the cinema to watch what you're doing. Do you understand? Even if I have to pay for it, I
So
want
the
to come and
YouTube
watch it.
they have to
You understand? So
consider,
maybe you
like,
don't. Maybe
consider,
I'm just.
because
This
it's
is
like
just.
it's part
Maybe
of
you
the
don't
new
put so
era
much money in
right
that, but you
now.
still do something
We
to
are
show.
trying to let you
Okay, this is
people
what we have. We
understand
got
that we
good
want
stuff
to
going
see
on,
the-
but
You
we need
see,
to pay to come and watch, and we don't even know what you got going on already. So why am I paying to come and watch what?
Okay.
I
That's
don't
why
even
he
know what
says
you've done.
intentionality.
You understand?
Give us a
Yeah.
I totally understand where you're coming from. And I feel like you're still trying so hard to find a reason so it doesn't look like you haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I want to put it to you. When you're trying to regain the trust of people back, you don't just go with mediocre. So it's easy. You see, you guys just, when you're behind the camera, you say, yeah, maybe you don't use as much money. How are you going to get a lot of impact if you don't use as much money? Because when you're trying to market the film, you need money to market the film. We are competing with people who are up there and their industry is fluid.
Because they're investing heavily.
That's the same point. So you're contradicting yourself then.
Well,
So if they're
I'm just
investing
you see,
the
when I
money is
say
going
investing, when I say investing heavily, because they want the outcome. So they are willing to even let the money go free. They're
at
willing
the end of
to
the
put
day-
the movies out there for us to see and be interested in them.
Because
so when
they
they have
also
a
have the
premiere, we'll pay to
support.
come and watch because
They
we know them.
also have the
So
support.
hear me out.
Yeah, they
Hear
have
me
the
out.
support because like they're willing to give it out freely. Do you understand? On
okay.
YouTube and everything. So
Yeah,
people
because
want to come and
But
watch
it's not for
It's
free.
not free.
It's not for free.
No,
yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not for free. So now hear
Putting
me
it on
out.
YouTube.
Okay, I will now come back again. When you now invest this money in there, the same results that you're saying, you know,
Yeah.
you want the because you want the quality and you want the people to show up. We did that for One Night Guest, right? But then people didn't show up. I'm saying that we have to be intentional about these things.
So you think
For the people who saw it, let me tell you something, and I can put it to you for a fact that if you had seen the trailer of One Night Guest, you watch it and go like, oh, and scroll. I'm telling you for a fact. You see, the intentionality here is you seeing it and not just judging it by the cover to say just because it's a Ghana film.
I'm not interested.
We're not giving the chance. You people are not listening to me, guys.
Because you lost it. And it's not a fault.
Exactly.
It's not a fault. The point was not for you guys. And then
guys,
you were not consistent.
we are going to go-
The storylines
yes,
were
we
not
are still
sitting.
going
The
back.
quality was down.
We've already
The
discussed
accuracy,
that.
we were just,
We've
I didn't
discussed
see,
that.
but I mean, I'm just seeing this coming from a different, you
So
know.
do you see how difficult it is now? Listen, this is the
I
issue
do.
that
We've
I
discussed
usually
it.
discuss all
Yeah,
this.
and he's saying
I
that.
get the
breakdown there,
scenario.
we
understand.
understand.
But you
Yeah,
still
but we
go
are
back
going back.
again.
No, we don't. We're just trying to.
We are going
We're
back.
all trying to help the
We are
film, you know,
literally going
industry.
back.
I'm
We are
saying
still
that
talking about
in general.
consistency.
Let us stop talking about
Let's
the
be
fact that we've lost the
intentional.
trust and the fact that the movies back then was
And
not
ease
good.
up.
I'm saying that there are films, there are new films that have changed the narratives, new films that had a lot of investment that you were talking about. New films that had mergers with the Inis and the Chidi Mukemes and Rosalind and all these people were in there.
Yeah.
Whatever it says that you're using as a standard for these other people, it's exactly the same thing we did. But you're not willing to now ease up for us to win the trust back.
Yeah.
Because when you watch it, you will now be impressed.
Ghanaians have trust
Do you get
issues.
where I'm coming from now?
So
yes, we get it.
So
I'm just saying ease up and just support.
Ease
Be
up,
intentional
Olive.
about
I
it.
understand.
And-
I
Yes,
understand.
and
So-
stop
so
going back
James,
and sticking
so,
to the movies not being good and
Yeah.
you guys,
Okay.
but you guys, the complaint is too much. Too many
So right now, let's say the one night stand.
So right now, the thing is
One night guest.
One night guest story.
Yeah.
So why not stand?
So let's say the one night guest now.
Right.
If I want to watch it, where can I? Is it on YouTube? Where can I watch it?
I mean, now a lot of people, there was not a lot of support, so I guess he has to find a way to maximize, his chance of making profit.
So because we need to see, you
Yeah,
know,
but you didn't
have a-
show up
you
at
know.
the time.
So
You
someone
know,
I didn't know about it.
Gone.
Exactly. Wait, hold on. When I
was
say
it
you
gone?
didn't, I'm not addressing. Sorry, hold a second. I'm not addressing you. I'm talking about everybody.
Everybody.
Right? Okay. So if I make losses now, what's the marketing tool? I now have to use the money that the little that I've gotten again to go back to the battlefield, right? To now market the film, because after you put it on Netflix, you're not done. You're not done. You're starting all over again. It's a whole process. So essentially, you're now going to go look for. You don't know how many films that he's done and how much he's lost.
Okay, so can't put it on.
Peter Sedufi has done a lot of films. I will use him for an example because I just work with him and I feel for him.
Oh, he actually does well.
Like when I sit down and I watch him, we go for interviews, right? Or maybe we go to cinema to sell tickets and whatnot. I watch him and I can only imagine, because if the money was coming from my pocket, I would know how that feels. It will probably not even be just his money. It could be money that he got from business partners, investors from South Africa, from here. And these are monies that need to be paid back. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So these same people who are doing this same standard, the quality standard of films that we would like to see to win the trust back, are still making losses because we are not easing up to what these films. We are not being intentional. Yes, these films are good films. Yes, you did not, but for the ones who actually did, and for the ones who saw us selling the tickets at the cinemas that day and still did not even show support, that should tell you how bad it is.
Yeah.
Do you get me now? Like, I get it. And your submissions are very valid. But I feel like it's high time we change the narrative and be intentional about it and actually think Ghanaian for a second when it comes to film. And say, look, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's all right. I know I've been stubborn. Okay, let's see.
Let's give them a chance.
So, okay, if you see, let's see, where do we watch them now?
Where do you go when you watch film?
Me, if I want to watch a movie, YouTube, Netflix.
Okay, so when you
Prime.
go there, look for a Ghanaian film.
movie.
I don't want to give you any.
She's like
when
looking
you
for
said,
Ghanaian
you said
films.
there's so many new movies.
Yeah.
So where are they? Because right now,
In the cinemas, I'm sure.
Do people even still
not
watch?
everything that's on
TVs on radio, TV stations
I
alone.
feel like Ghanaians don't have cinema culture. That's also a very big problem.
We used to.
No. There's a cinema
never
culture
had?
for a certain genre of films.
Okay,
The moment Spider-Man comes out, all of a sudden, every Ghanaian knows there's cinema
Cinemas.
culture. Let's what do you got? Those what's that name? The
Cinemas.
League, something League. Oh, what are they called? Something League, American Man, Justice League. Let all of those films come out.
Yeah.
Right? So now let me tell you something. When you travel to these countries, which I don't want to talk about, when it comes to their local films, even after their premiere nights, you guys don't want to know the numbers. They show up. You get, yes, we've lost the trust, but it starts from somewhere. There are solid films in the cinema that actually need support. The same money that you're going to use. The funny thing is, our ticket was even, I think, 50 cedis cheaper than the ones that didn't have their cast representing them at the cashier stand. Do you know how depressing that is?
Wow.
But James, I think you should understand that
Again?
you should. I'm just coming again. It's not even
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I want to. I'm interested now
Okay.
that he's saying that there's so many good movies out there. But where are we going to even watch them? You understand? The Nigerians again. You go on Netflix, they're there. You go on YouTube, they're there. And then there's some Ghanaian movies on YouTube, but they are not as good as probably what you guys have made now. But I feel like it should be out there. It should be free. Not like I'm not saying
Should
they
be free.
shouldn't make their money back. I'm not saying they shouldn't make their money back. But I feel like if you need the people to have the trust in you for us to want to go watch something that you've spent money on, you should give us something little to even, okay, we've seen some movies. Okay, I'm paying to go watch that because I've seen something he did and I like that. But right now,
it's not free.
I want to understand.
no, then again, I don't know where I'll go watch a Ghanaian movie if I want to go watch a Ghanaian movie.
That's
cinema.
No, but that's
that is
something
me. That's
little.
like
That's something little.
very
is what I
little.
want
But
to
then again, we
understand.
still need to. It has to be out there like that. Because you make a good movie and then now it's not out there. We're not
Wait,
seeing
hold
it.
up. You said
see.
to give you something little. I want you to expound. What do you mean by that?
Oh, me, right? I just
movie.
feel like, let's say YouTube, Netflix, whatever. That is where most people are these
but
days.
that's
It's still money.
it's
It's still
not
money,
free.
but we can still go and see the movies.
Yeah, so
We don't know how much they spend there, but we are still going there they've used money too, but we're still going there and we are seeing the movies.
So
you understand? So maybe you make the best movie is better than whatever they have, but we are seeing it.
From your standpoint, there's a lot of money from exclusivity when you're selling these rights to all these platforms. That's what I'm saying. It's very easy for you to vet it out,
say,
right? But there are more technical things to it. If I put out my film on YouTube, I've taken out the exclusivity factor out of it. If I go out now go and sell to Netflix, chances are a lot of people have now seen on YouTube and won't get as much traction now on Netflix.
Yeah.
Do you get where I'm coming from?
That's true.
So you have to be very particular when you're selling your films.
Okay.
When you're talking about, I'm saying there are lots of good films, out there. When you have a film and you make a loss already at your premiere, you are going to now bargain now at Netflix, which, mind you, is going to be your last point now, right? You have to make sure that you get a very good deal to at least make some money back, if not to even pay your investors off, just to also settle certain things too. Do you get what I mean? But if you don't get that,
How do you do that?
What's the point?
yeah, so then you might as well. So then it will now deter me to even sell the film because I'm like, what am I going to do? You hope that you can revive the conversation and get a better deal, or go to another better online platform. Another online platform that's going to give you a better deal.
Okay.
It's just a matter of hopes here. One thing about film is we can film in 2014
and premiere
and I can
later,
release it in 2023.
Wow.
It doesn't even matter. That's film for you, right? So you can hope that you just be there and be hopeful that eventually you're going to get a better deal for your thing.
Okay.
But there are good films on Ghana films on YouTube. You can go on YouTube and check it out. Type out
movies,
Ghanaian
new Ghanaian movies.
films, new Ghanaian
So they are there.
films,
I'll go and watch.
and check it out. Yes,
Okay.
but it's also good to go with names that you trust first. There are certain directors that you probably have watched their films that you know obviously will do very good. I'm not saying just go out there and just type Ghana film and just be watching anything, because even these other places that we're also talking about also have movies that, has nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go for the names that
You trust.
that you trust.
Yeah.
So that you get your time worth or your money's worth.
Okay,
or
so
whatever.
so it's like this topic is really intense. Just like if you don't think
No,
of
we're
it,
enjoying it because we needed to get to the
I want to
roots
ask
of
you.
it.
I want to ask James this question. So, what are you doing as a deputy? Like you are being appointed. What are you doing about the movie industry now to make it better?
Okay, so first of all, we started with dialogues to understand the roots of our problems proper. You have to engage with people, right? The same way
Like how you're engaging with us.
But then I'm engaging with people who don't really know a
So
lot
viewers,
about
please.
the technical
You have
issues.
to. You have
that's
to,
why we are here.
You
We
have
are
to
learning,
drop
right?
your opinions in the comments
We're
section.
representing them.
We are
So
learning.
we met with some of the major stakeholders. We met with like FIPAC. We met with the Film Crew Association. The distributors. We had like a sit down proper, and we delved into every institution's problems.
Okay.
What's your problem you're facing? Okay, this will say fans. This will say communication. This will say there's lack of this. There's lack of that. There are also certain guidelines that we also operate by. Right, so if we know that we're well within our rights to do certain things, we are we okay?
We're okay. Continue.
So we use those tools to now address whatever problems that we have. Okay. Now that we've had the problems, this is now the time for us to report back to the ministry and the minister, right? And you apply some pressure here and there, because to get results, you don't just sow the seed and go and sleep. You still need to water it every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay. Apart from that, I feel like we also need a platform, just like you're talking about. Like, you also don't know where to go.
to watch it.
Okay, so this may probably not be an official statement, but I'll still say it, since I know that it's still something that's going to come out anyway. So, first I'm talking about it. We're coming out with a National Film Archive, which is going to like all these. Do you know I told you so?
I know.
Road to Kukwantumi and
I
all
told you
these.
so, yeah.
I've heard
so
about that.
if you want to watch it, you don't know where you want
watch it.
where to watch it, or even if you're not in Ghana or maybe you're in diaspora, we're trying to create that platform so that we can have all of that. Not just that, but also have the kind of films that we're advocating to win the trust back. And it's not going to be for free. There'll be some free ones, just like you said. So you said the bait, all right.
Okay.
But then you get to know what's actually in there. The plan here is not to really. It's not a profit making thing, but to keep it running.
I think we can't wait because we really want.
But for the beginning, maybe it should be free. Some movies.
Olivia.
She likes
Can we
speaking spa.
please,
I don't mind Olivia.
When you go and invest in your film,
in your business, then
when you go and invest in your business, so you're selling shit.
No, but if you're
gonna
putting
give your
the old
quotes out
movies
for
and
free.
stuff on there, like there's some movies that we shouldn't,
But you have a business though.
I do
does.
have a very.
So what
She's
do
into
you do?
clothing.
I'm into clothing.
Do you have some for men? Hold on.
I do.
I'm going to pop by.
Okay, you should.
Then you have to patronize all of us.
I will. No. I'm
it's
coming for
free.
free.
For free.
Hey,
Don't
why
be
you-
slow.
Wait, but what are you thinking?
But
Don't
if
be
I have
slow,
some stuff
please.
that I don't like, I feel like okay, I've made.
But that's the point.
I've not lost my.
You feel like,
I have not.
you feel like
Okay, so James,
you feel like you have some stuff that like
you may have some stuff.
No,
So you said,
are you listening to yourself now?
Road to Kukwantumi, and then you said, these are old movies that we don't have to pay
No,
to
these are
watch.
classics. That's
then
what I'm
again,
talking about.
so
No, but they're bringing
No,
back
but
memories.
mind you, those ones are not even going to be for free. It's impossible. It's impossible.
The
I can tell you for a fact.
You like free
I do.
There are some
Please
films
don't.
that's going to be for free,
Okay.
but definitely not.
We'll pay
not
for
There
them.
should be a few special ones
We
in
will
there.
pay
with
for
them.
them.
James.
Yeah.
But when I
So-
go on the
so when I
app, I
come
should
to
be
your
able
shop-
to watch something. Something.
Guys,
When I
Watch
come to your
something.
shop,
Pay for
I
it.
also pick
James, don't
some
mind.
classy,
It's
classy
okay.
ones
Okay.
here.
So
And
right now, let
Yeah.
me ask. I mean, before we wrap up. Okay, it's
Yeah.
like we actually. and then he has not only given us the assurance, he has given us
They're doing-
guidelines, like
That they are doing something.
yes, we
Yeah.
are doing something. So we can't wait for this movie industry to revive. We want everything to. We want to.
Hour. I think if you say hour. Yeah.
Hour. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh my
Hour.
god.
Okay, so please, what's your final say about?
What do you have for Ghanaians? Because
Yeah,
this has
before
been
we
very
wrap up.
insightful.
So in my capacity as the deputy CEO, I can tell you for a fact that we're doing everything possible. Things don't happen just overnight. I see a lot of comments on social media. Someone will say, since we started, it's just veterans that we're visiting. but the veterans are just as important as the upcoming ones as well. Because if we swing this way, the veterans also have the right to also come back and say, why didn't you also come knocking on our doors? Everybody matters. We just can't do everything at once. So either which way, whether we start here or whether we start there, it's still going to be tackled. So I just want to urge people to have some patience. Quality things take time to build.
Guys.
You can't rush stuff like that, particularly when you're trying to win the trust back. It's a process that you have to take people through, particularly with the ones who want very free things. I don't know how that works business-wise, but officially, we're doing everything well within our power to make sure that we resolve existing and new issues to bring back that whole excitement in the industry. This is just one out of many that I just said.
Okay.
But there are a lot of partnerships as well that we're also trying to do to make sure that we get the platform that we want. But charity begins
At
Yeah, we need to be
wow.
intentional about it.
We need to see
if
change.
we don't value what we have.
Yeah.
How do I hold this thing up so high and say, look at how you see how they're reacting to it. Now I want you to have it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, your people don't even like you, bro. So what are you
no.
saying?
What are you saying?
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now? So we have to be intentional about it. Help us to help you too. That's what I'm trying to say.
Please, let's
Yeah.
help us.
Other than that, the work becomes way too tough because it's like I'm trying to tell you the ideas and
We'll
why
do
we're doing
better.
it. Then we
Going
keep
back.
saying
We'll do
yeah,
better.
but you guys,
Please,
you guys.
we are sorry.
Do better.
I feel like if we change the narrative
Yeah.
and give a chance to our film industry, we are going to be so proud of ourselves, and we will be walking shoulder high and be now bragging, about
ours.
our hours.
Yeah.
Like our people did this. Look,
We really
did
want
that.
to be doing that, James.
Exactly.
We really want
so
to be doing that.
our films can also cross the borders, and then it's like there's so much talkability, and you're so proud to be a Ghanaian
Yeah.
and be part of it.
Yeah.
Instead of us rather throwing more light to people who already have
Okay,
the
you've actually,
limelight.
you've given us
So-
the insight. So
This has
yeah.
been very insightful. We are so happy.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
for coming here, and then we want to say a very big thank you, and then hey, we have a gift for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from our sponsor.
nice.
Yes,
Mac
Mac
Felix.
Felix. Okay,
Nice.
so should you want her spicy chips,
Right.
like plantain chips,
Oh okay.
and katsu cake,
I see.
and many others?
Do you take
like
those,
the
though?
snacks.
Do you take them?
Right,
You're
Do you
gonna
take
take
them?
this home
Yeah. Why not?
to
Thank
cool
you
your
so
heart
much.
because
Yeah.
actually
yeah,
said
It looks like we were
You said a
tripping,
lot.
so-
yeah,
Oh,
to
thank
cool,
you.
Just
to
say you
cool
said a
your
lot.
heart. So-
Macphilly.
Yeah.
It
So
had to be said. It had to be
Yeah,
said.
So
exactly.
please, you can thank Mac Felix
Don't drop our
first because
snacks, though.
this mine.
this one is yours now.
What about this? But
Well,
I
let's
want
give
one of
everything
these.
to
Yeah,
him.
give everything to me.
Hey, but you have some
Hey,
in the
Mac
box
Felix,
already. Why do you want to
not
still
get
You
get
said free, but you said free
But-
things.
Well, now you've had one now. This is what we also get it for free.
Okay,
We
so
also get it for free.
do you have any word for Mac Felix?
Yeah, after I have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, after he has that,
Yeah, so-
add this one too.
Thank you so much.
You need to try it. So
Yeah,
tasty.
so guys,
The
thank
chips.
you so much. Thank you. I'm a very anybody who knows me knows this about me. I'm actually I'm an authentic Ghanaian.
Okay.
I
I
like
mean, we
Ghanaian
can tell
stuff.
Plantain
from the
chips.
fits.
Your looks and
So if you ask, where's Sam? Is my sister around there? If you ask him, he will tell you.
You like it, pie?
I don't do burgers, chips.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a yam. Garden
Okay.
I like
Pure
to support
Ghanaian.
Ghana.
You
I'm
have to
very intentional.
patronize Mac Felix.
I'm very intentional about it. Even with my designs, even my suits, I make sure that I work with Ghanaians. Legend, bespoke, everything I do,
That's
I
good.
try to have a lot of Ghana in there.
Yeah.
I mean, 80 out of 100 should be Ghana.
Ghanaian, yeah.
That's it. for
Telling
me.
you
your
it
own
all,
way.
like right from
Yeah.
the
Doing a
movie,
lot.
right from
Let's
Parak
patronize
this.
and
Ghanaians.
Yes.
Let's
Some-
patronize
exactly.
Ghanaians.
Yeah, this one
I'm
is
not-
direct.
Is it not
Yeah,
beautiful?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's
That's how it's
given-
supposed to be.
Yeah,
That's how it's
that's
supposed to be. If I'm going to go out, not that the others also don't deserve a
Yeah,
shout, right?
yeah.
But I would rather maybe go to
Let's embrace
a Ghana business
our small
and make sure that whole cycle is going around.
Yeah.
So I appreciate this, Mac Phillips.
Thank you.
Felix,
Thank you for coming. We
Okay,
appreciate
so-
you, James.
Another
This has been very
episode has
insightful.
come to an end.
Yeah.
And then I want to remind you that every Tuesday, 4 p.m., there's going to be a new drop of Girls Aloud.
Yeah.
I'm Gifty. It's ARAMGH on all social media platforms. Make sure you follow Girls Aloud Podcast.
You're hitting it already.
Make sure you follow Girls Aloud Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
All right, guys. So yeah, it's KOFAS Media on YouTube once again. My name is Abena Olive. My business is Start by Olive. Follow my business page, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, and everywhere. So catch you guys same time next week.
Well, it has always been Araba Yangston. Make sure you do follow me on all my socials, Araba_Yangston. See you in the next episode.
See you in the next episode.
Subscribe, or your baba is going to give you Sakura. Believe that.